Hey there! Welcome to Understanding Common Core Math. This video series is designed for parents and teachers who are looking to better understand the Common Core and are looking to find ways to support kids in their development of math skills. Standard K.G.A.2 is the standard that we are going to address in this video. The standard builds on the previous standard in that it deals with recognizing and naming basic shapes. So, what shapes should a kindergarten student be able to recognize and name? The first basic shape is a triangle. A triangle is a flat, two-dimensional shape that is made up of three straight sides. The lengths of the sides can vary as long as the sides connect at corners. Each corner is called a vertex. Triangles come in a variety of forms. Sometimes the side lengths are all different. Sometimes the side lengths are the same. Sometimes a triangle looks nice and symmetrical, and sometimes a triangle looks like it might just tip over. No matter the orientation, the size, or the configuration of the sides, the key characteristic is that your student should recognize is that all triangles have three straight sides. The next basic shape that a kindergarten student should recognize is a square. A square is a flat, two-dimensional shape that is made up of four straight sides. The catch, though, is that all four sides have to be the same length. In addition, the sides have to meet at nice right angles. In other words, the corners of a square are, well, square. A square has a lot of nice symmetry associated with it. Now, we do not expect your kindergarten student to use fancy terminology like symmetry or right angle at this stage of the game. We just want your student to intuitively recognize what a square generally looks like. Another basic shape for your kid to know is a rectangle. A rectangle is also flat or two-dimensional and is made up of four straight sides. Like a square, the sides have to meet at nice right angles. However, all four sides do not have to be the same length. Essentially, a rectangle is an elongated square. Notice that the opposite sides in a rectangle are equal in length. Again, we do not require your child at this point to use the fancy terminology when describing a rectangle. We simply want him or her to intuitively recognize what a rectangle looks like and to distinguish a rectangle from a square. If your student is able to verbalize some of the characteristics of these shapes, then he or she will simply be ahead of the game. Another basic shape that is suggested for kindergarten students to know is a hexagon. A hexagon is a flat, two-dimensional shape that is made up of six straight sides. Hexagons come in all sorts of configurations and orientations. As long as the shape has six sides, it is considered a hexagon. Probably the most familiar looking hexagon is a regular hexagon. This is a hexagon with sides of equal length and with equal angles. We are not going to put too much into the details at this point. Basically, the key for your student is noticing the six sides and recognizing that a six-sided figure is called a hexagon. A circle is another basic, flat, two-dimensional shape that your kindergarten student should be able to identify. Unlike the other shapes that we have discussed, a circle has a curved edge. A circle is perfectly round. Circles have a lot of cool characteristics, but these characteristics will be addressed at later grade levels. As long as your student can recognize what a circle looks like, we'll be good to go. The shapes that we just discussed were all flat, two-dimensional figures. There are also some three-dimensional figures that kindergarten students should recognize. The most basic three-dimensional solid is a cube. A cube is basically the 3D equivalent to a square. All of the edges are equal in length, and all of the faces are squares. At this point, the use of terminology like edge and face is not as important as your child simply recognizing what a cube looks like. Cubes are the basic building blocks of other solids, so identifying what a cube looks like is essential. Another three-dimensional solid that your kid should recognize and name is a sphere. Sphere is the fancy mathematical term for a ball. A sphere is the three-dimensional equivalent to a circle. A cone is a basic three-dimensional solid that students should be able to identify as well. A cone has a round, circular base. The side of a cone is curved and comes to a point. Similar to a cone is a pyramid. A pyramid is a three-dimensional solid that has a flat base, which is usually either a triangle or a square. The faces of the pyramid are flat as well and meet at a single point. Cones and pyramids have a lot of similar characteristics. Again, we simply want your kindergarten student to recognize these solids and name them. The technical stuff will be addressed later on. The final three-dimensional solid that a kindergarten student should recognize is a cylinder. A cylinder has ends that are circles. The side of a cylinder is curved. A cool feature of the side of a cylinder is that if you unwrap it, it is actually a rectangle. But that characteristic will be addressed later on down the line. There you have it. Those are the basic two-dimensional shapes and three-dimensional solids that your students should be able to recognize when leaving kindergarten. Each of the shapes and solids have interesting characteristics, and if your student can start to articulate some of those characteristics, that's great. At a minimum, we simply want your child to intuitively recognize the shapes and solids and to name them. Any further descriptions that they can provide about specific characteristics will just put them further ahead, which is fantastic. I hope that you found this video helpful in better understanding standard K.G.A.2. If you liked the content of this video, please subscribe to this channel and check out the other videos in the series. Please leave any questions or feedback in the comments section as well. Thanks for watching.